Hey, everybody, Ali Mehdaoui here with a very, very special one. I've been waiting for this one all day long, and it's going to be probably one of the best interviews I have ever done. And it's been 3 years since this incredible individual and I have been together in the same platform, sharing an interview, having a business conversation. And I cannot tell you how ecstatic, excited I am for you all, wherever you may be all around the world, to hear his perspective, his view, because this gentleman is the one who created everything that started for me in terms of business and the Mehdaoui Enterprise platform and the foundation of my business beliefs has been created by everything that he has done for myself, for my family, and I cannot wait for you all to hear again 30 years worth of experience that will be speaking to you all tonight. A million representatives that have been trained will be speaking to you tonight. So I am ecstatic. I'm just waiting for him to hop on, and I see him right there. We just sent him the invite. He's going to hop on in just a second. Everybody that is hopping on right now, drop your name and your city in the comment and make sure you share this video, because I can guarantee you everyone in your news feed is going to want to hear what's going to be shared tonight. There he is, Mr. Costino. Hello, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, my friend. How are
all day for this time right now, just because it has been 3 years. The world has to know, in life, behind every great man, there's a greater woman. Well, in business, behind Ali Mehdaoui, there's John Costino. So you all need to know what actually has taken place tonight, just so you all know before I introduce the master himself, is a part one of a 2-episode special. So tomorrow night at the same time, we're doing part 2. So I wanted to leave it as a little bit of a surprise. So share, and let me go ahead and do the proper way of doing this, is to introduce to you all a man that has showed me, there's people who show you, oh, here is the script, here's the business, here's this, and then a man that showed me the values of what it means to do things the right way, what it means to, hey, things may not work out for you the way you want them to work out, but you owe it to your field to do certain things and have a specific leadership behavior. He instilled that within me. A little bit of a rebellious Ali Mehdaoui sometimes comes out in the business space. He instilled that within me. He has trained over 1 million representatives over 3 decades, one of the greatest consultants in the business space and network marketing. He has taken 2 companies and disrupted industries with them, and literally from zero to $500 million 2 times and a whole lot more. He has the record of the 2 fastest network marketing companies under his belt, and he is now an owner of his own network marketing company. And I've been waiting forever to have him on this platform so I can showcase to you all why I say the things that I say every day, why it matters to have a specific way of doing business. So without any further ado, and I've seen all of your comments, we are literally broadcasting in the UK, we are in Australia, we are in New Zealand, we are in Guam, we are literally all over the world right now. So I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen, the master himself, Mr. John Costino.
I am very humbled. I'm just going to start off by saying thank you for the kind words, but I do not on any level accept that credit. Ali, you've heard me say this, so I'm going to make sure it's clear to everybody. I teach the same thing to everyone. You know that. I teach, and I teach everybody. The success comes from the person receiving the message. I mean, I'll take credit for teaching stuff that works, but I'll never take the credit for the success that comes after it. And we've worked together. I hope you don't mind. I love telling the story of how we met that first time.
Please do.
I met Ali, to me, and I don't say kid in a disrespectful way, but you were just a gigantic, like smiling, like you swallowed a coat hanger, smile on your face kid saying, man, if this is real, we're going to have some fun. And I know that you'd already had success as an entrepreneur. You'd already run other businesses successfully. but the network marketing industry was the one that had eluded you as far as, 95, 96, 97 out of 100 people fail, regardless of being successful doctors, attorneys, nightclub owners, restaurant owners. Doesn't matter. Network marketing takes everybody to their knees. So you looked at it and you were like, I love this concept. I've tried it before. I want to try it again. So I preface our interview by saying to you, you were a wide-eyed, gigantic, smiling kid with enthusiasm, but, and this is the big but, you brought a tremendous, A, willingness to learn, and then B, a ridiculous work ethic of applying what you were taught consistently, but more importantly, efficiently and effectively with every person that you brought in. So as much as I'll accept that I may have taught things to you, you have to accept that out of the millions of people that hear it and have access to it and have the ability to go out there, you were one of the handful that actually took it, owned it, and then duplicated it. So it's my pleasure to be here with you. I've watched your success as a field rep, to becoming a field general and a field leader, to becoming an industry consultant, and truly a leader in the industry of not just network marketing, but in business. So it's my pleasure to be here, and I take absolutely no credit for your success. You've done a phenomenal job.
I appreciate the love, Coach. And let's get right into it. So, I have to get a little bit of background out of you. I mean, I know, the story that has been told to me many times from different people who know you, and it all matched, right? But there are many people who may be watching right now who may just look at a John Costino, who is a success story, who has a reputation and a name behind him. They may not understand that there has been a process of ups and downs. So would you mind just sharing with us, and I know it's 30 years, but if you can condense it to what has created or led you to the mindset and the journey that you are in right now in the present?
Absolutely. In fact, I'll do my best to make it a simple message, but I fell in love with the concept of the home-based business network marketing model, quite honestly, because of the way I was raised. I was in a unique situation. My father was a successful physician, so from a financial standpoint, I received the financial benefit. He was very generous and provided whatever I deserved and needed. I wasn't spoiled, but I wasn't, there was no hardship. But the trade-off was, as a successful physician, he wasn't around much. So I had friends whose dads not only, were at every game, but they coached the games. They were the coaches at practice. So, it was give and take. I know kids that didn't have anything. Their dads worked and they didn't have money. But the bottom line was, when I saw network marketing, I bought into the concept that if you did it right, if you were with the right company and you brought a work ethic, you could have the money that you want to provide for your family, but you could have all of your time free to actually be a dad who's involved and be present. So I fell in love with that concept. Now, I say fell in love with the concept because the industry does not necessarily deliver on that promise. And I don't want to rip the industry, but the reality is, you've been around long enough, I'm not lying, that too many companies will present an opportunity that sadly is flawed and sadly has the trapdoors and the pitfalls in it. So I was one of the very fortunate ones. I got involved in the industry. My first 2.5 years, I made no money. No money. I won't say it was bad company. My second company was a $499 telecommunications opportunity, and I had massive success. That was my big home run. It was $499 to get in. Over the course of about 3.5, 4 years, developed a team of over 125,000 reps. We were doing $4.5 million in monthly billing, and it was an amazing success. Here's the problem. I didn't know at that time that 9 out of 10 people never made their $500 back. And that's when my heart sank, and I realized, wait a minute, I'm in front of a room every night of the week teaching people, if you plunk the $500 down and you do A, B, and C, you know, in the next 12 to 24 to 36 months, you'll set yourself free. And the reality was it wasn't delivering. So Ali, to sum up that was 1997 when the bubble was burst. I've been on a crusade for the last 20 years to create a no investment, no risk opportunity. Now, I want to be clear about this. You know, people go, oh, free. No, it's not free. You will invest your time. You will have to, you will spend not just time and effort, but you will reprogram your brain to become an entrepreneur instead of an employee. So there's nothing free about this, but what I will offer is a no investment. So you're not going to have people saying, I'd love to do this, but I can't afford it, and no risk. So there's no legitimate reason not to attempt it unless you truly don't want it. That being said, my goal is to leave behind one piece of a legacy, and that is for those people who genuinely and sincerely would like the chance to have entrepreneurship, to be a business owner, but they weren't blessed with a silver spoon, they weren't blessed with an inheritance, they weren't blessed with parents who are entrepreneurs, so they're not going to take over a business, that they have the opportunity without investing, you know, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, without having to get involved in a quote-unquote home-based business where we already know that for 3 decades across the industry, 95 out of 100 never turn a profit. I wanted there to be one that said, if you're willing to bring the work ethic, we will show you, we will teach you, and we will help you succeed in business without destroying relationships, friendships, and reputations. That's to sum up my 3 decades.
And I appreciate that.
And I'm proud to say that through a lot of hardship, Ali, I started my own company for the first time in January of 2016. We're a successful company, but we are in the process of, as you know, taking an existing successful company and merging it with 2 other very successful companies to create a monster in the industry.
Love it, love it. Now you shared a whole lot of nuggets, and I really want to dive in a little bit. So one of the things that you said was the industry does not, you know, deliver at times. There's few companies that are out there. You know, if you could, why do you think that is? Is it just that everybody is bad? Is it lack of experience? Is it lack of understanding of the longevity of a compensation plan? In your professional opinion, in your 30 years plus, what do you think, or why do you think there are companies out there that just simply don't deliver?
I will be as polite as I can and say that the majority of them, it's an accident. I don't believe the majority of companies are doing it with malicious intent, but I will say they're doing it without proper preparation. And what I mean by that is when you look at the industry, now I'm going to preface this, I'm nothing special. I don't think I'm better than anyone else. However, I've lived this industry. So when you look at majority of companies, the owners and the management team don't come from, they don't chew this dirt. They have a background as entrepreneurs. They're real estate. They're nightclub owners. They own restaurants. They're athletes. They have some type of a very successful lineage, a pedigree, and they have money, and they invest their money into the company, and then they all, and this is so terrible, either guess or they hire the same half dozen so-called industry experts to write a marketing plan in a company. Now, I'm going to say this in a politically correct way. I've been a comp plan specialist. I've been an industry consultant. I've been an industry analyst. And so I see the same exact mistakes company after company. And this is what I will say to you. I don't think anyone has ever attempted to be better and different. They just want to be slightly the next version of stuff that's out there. And I've gotten into discussions / arguments with people who said, well, why do you want to do that? I go, because that's the way it should be done. And they go, well, that's going to cost the company money. And I go, yeah, it is going to cost the company money. The company's going to make X, but we're going to make sure the reps are taken care of. And this is what would happen. When I was an industry consultant writing comp plans for companies, they would say, write me the best plan. I'd write the best plan, and then they would start shaving off pieces of it because why do we have to do this? No one else does it because this is the best plan. So Ali, I will tell you, it's not that it's ignorance or bad intent. There was just no need. The industry has accepted certain things. So when these management teams get together, nobody, I have, I guess, a borderline ego problem, arrogance. I want to have the best opportunity available so I can stand on a stage and say, you can't make more money anywhere else with the same production versus what you could make in my company. Because I've lived in the field for so long that I understand reps are not numbers in a database, they're families. And because of the amount of time I've spent with you, with people in your team, I know that when someone says, you know, I'll invest the time to do this, it's a sacrifice. You're taking time away from your spouse, you're taking time away from your children, you're taking time away that if it does not yield a strong financial return, divorce is a reality. Children start to resent it. So for me, I have a goal. Whatever you're willing to bring to the table in a work ethic, I'm guaranteeing you will get the most bang for your buck financially working with me because I know what you're sacrificing. I've sat at the kitchen table. That's a long answer to your question, but Ali, too many people don't understand it. And I'll end by saying this. I've had partners. You know, I've been the VP of sales and training for multiple companies. I've sat in boardrooms with corporate partners who would argue with me. And I would say, have you ever done it? And they would go, I would never do this. And I go, that's your problem. You got no problem owning a network marketing company or running one, but you've never, ever made the time and effort to go roll your sleeves up and do what our reps do, but you have the audacity to have some type of an opinion about it. That's when I would want to come across the table and choke somebody out because you're making decisions about people and their lives that you have no business doing. You have no idea what they do.
Interesting. You've mentioned during your first early stages of your career that you were getting sick to your stomach with a company or a few companies where you realize people are spending, $400 or $500 to get started in a company that you realize at some point that 9 out of 10 are not even going to make their money back. Do you believe that has changed over the course of the years, or is that still a symptom in the network marketing space?
No, and you know why? Because there have been two companies. I've been a part of both of them, one in telecom, one in energy, that were ridiculed. When we started in telecom with a no investment, the other companies in telecom, because there were two just juggernauts, ridiculed us and said, you're taking all of our losers. You're taking all the people that can't make. And I said, exactly. Give me the bucket of losers. You keep the bucket of winners, because the winners are 3 out of 100. The losers are 95, 96, 97 out of 100. And if you're willing to give me that bucket at a no barrier to entry, no investment of any money, no risk financially, I will have more reps, which means I will have more customers. But the problem was when we proved it in telecom, the owners, the people who could pull the strings, shut the company down. And the same exact thing happened in energy. We did the same thing. We came into energy deregulation. We got in 6, 7, 8 years behind the 3 companies that were leading the charge in that. We had massive success. They laughed at us. They said it'll never work. And as it began to take off in that 4th year, my partners made a decision to sell the company off. So the answer to your question is no company has actually sustained it, not because it didn't work, but because there are entrepreneurs out there that don't have the long-term interest of the reps. And from a business decision, Ali, would you invest $1 million today and then sell that company for $45 million 3 years later? As a business decision?
Not at all. I definitely would not. I see where you're coming from with that point of view. Absolutely.
You're a rep. That's why you wouldn't, because you see the value. But you know what venture capitalists do with a $1 million investment and a $45 million offer 3 years later? They sell it and say the reps will find something else. So the long answer to your question is, as of right now, it's not been proven long term, but just wait. I now have partners that have the long-term vision. We have secured a relationship that it cannot be shut down. And that's important for your audience to hear me say. My audience knows it already. I was never going to do this again unless I had the control. I'm a control freak about one thing, protecting the long-term health and future of the reps. And I would never do it again unless I had that control. So yes, we will 3 years from now be celebrating massive success, but 10 and 15 and 20 years from now, it'll be a legacy.
You know, it's funny, you know, you kind of did segue already to my next point, which, you know, a few people may say, well, John, in your career, you've tried number one, number two, opportunities where you weren't the owner. Obviously, you had influence on the corporate office and you had a role as a VP of sales. And you've had the two fastest, as far as record growing companies in the history of this space. Okay, well, what makes you think the third time is the charm, as they say? What gives you this mindset of, you know what, this is it and I'm going to do it?
Well, let's just say I was naive the first two times in that I just believed what people said. You know, I don't want to sit here and say I'm pessimistic now, but I was naive. This time around, well, first of all, I have 30 years of very successful experience behind me. So I don't care what you're doing. If you're building houses, building fences, if you're training dogs, do anything for 30 years, you're going to be better. If you're not dead, you're going to be better 30 years than you were at the beginning. But I've got partners now on the corporate side that they have the same goals I do. We're not doing it to make money. They've made a lot of money. I've made a lot of money. We're not doing this to make money. We're doing this to validate belief systems and validate statements. So without going into, I know I promised you I wouldn't say names on tonight's, maybe we get into it tomorrow. But I have two partners specifically that are CEOs of existing companies that are merging with me. Not because I'm special, but because they have something to finish. And they realize that the home-based business industry and the network marketing concept, if done right, is magical. And because all three of us are coming into this with a long-term vision, not about we're going to get wealthy and we're going to make money, but we're going to actually upend the industry, create a whole new model. Not that we're going to attack anything else. We're just going to build a company based on a brand new model that's going to change the paradigm. So this is going to sound arrogant. I don't think it's going to work. I know it's going to work. I'm ecstatic to go do it again because of the horsepower that I'm able to access with my partners and because of my own knowledge and experience in the past. So, I mean, Ali, I'll ask it this way. You are privileged to know what's about to happen. Do you agree that even though we had a very successful run together for a few years, that this model is light years different / better than the successful
Absolutely.
model that we met and built?
Absolutely. And if you, and my audience knows, I don't BS, I don't hype, I call it as I see it. This is why I'm asking on behalf of my audience, how do you know this is going to be it? I know for a fact where I stand, but you know, it's sometimes better to hear it from the individual himself who is actually steering the ship to that promised land. And I don't, your record speaks for itself. You know, although you say you were naive, that you had the wrong partners or so on and so forth, I truly believe that you still did right. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking to you after, you know, since 2012. And the majority of the people that ever say John Costino, there are some who have different opinions. I think it's the hair. You know, but you always remain true to yourself for who you are when it comes to your word. And, you know, I know for a fact there's many that can appreciate that aspect, you know, it makes you or breaks you in the business space. That I can absolutely tell you. Now, you've mentioned your the management team, and you also mentioned money. You said, well, we're not doing it, just for the money. Can you elaborate on that for me a little bit? And if you don't mind, I would love for you to actually share about Miss Sandy and her reasoning, because that was absolutely powerful. That was really one of the reasons that made me kind of sit back and humble myself and say, maybe I should take a listen to what these guys are putting together. Just from at the beginning, it was just an outside opinion. I was, if you remember, in the hospital with my child and my wife, and you and I are talking in the hallway, and you share with me the story, and I was like, wow, that's something pretty noble, if you will. So if you don't mind, just share with me a little bit about your partners and what makes them unique as far as the masses to trust them and kind of go in business with them.
Are you comfortable
Yes.
with me sharing the names
Yes.
of their companies? Okay. I have two extremely unique special partners. One I've known 20 years. He and I met, he was 18 years old. He was a first-year college student, and this was in 1995, 1996. I refer to him as Jimmy because I knew him at the time where his mom drove him to my trainings on Saturdays. I was already 10 years, I'm 10 years older than him. I'm already successful in the industry of network marketing and home-based business. And he was someone special because at 18, 19 years old, I wasn't entrepreneurial. I was swimming in college and chasing girls and, avoiding class. Here's a young kid going to college saying, I want to learn entrepreneurship. I want to go out there and create something special. So he was a very, very unique and special person as a kid. Now, we worked together for about 4 years, 5 years, whatever it was. And network marketing was not a massive success for him, but it was a great learning curve. And he went on to have a huge trajectory of success in social media, social networking. His name is Jim Lupkin. If you were to look him up, I will tell you he's the foremost expert in social media, social networking, specifically Facebook marketing. And he's had massive success in and out of the network marketing space because he's worked in the corporate America environment, helping these corporations, Fortune 500 companies, to develop an effective web presence on Facebook. So we're talking about a guy who knows what he's doing, not some internet network marketing hack guru that's asking you to join his group. He's sought after by major corporations because he's perfected how to go out there, and I'll say it this way, how to go out there and through Facebook data mine people who are already searching and ready to buy what you sell. Ali, think about that. That's not creating leads. That's not ClickFunnels or whatever. He knows where to find the people looking for and ready to buy what you want to sell. Now, his record speaks for itself. I won't bore you with all the statistics, but he's so strong that, like I said, companies in and out of the network marketing space offer him a lot of money for his services. He and I started talking about February of this year, so 8, 9, 10 months ago, whatever that was. And we began talking about finishing what we started 20 years ago, because he was a part of that company that I helped build that was the very first no investment model in telecom. And he said, wouldn't it be great to actually finish what we've been talking about? Because he's been talking about it, I've been talking about it, we've just been going about it from different angles. I stayed in network marketing, he went out to corporate America. But if I said to you, Ali, the number one problem that a home-based business network marketer has is they don't know what to say to their friends, they don't know how to market to their friends, and they don't know how to go out there and get customers for their products or representatives for their opportunity without doing and saying things that repel them. He has perfected that. So I now have not just an answer or a solution, I have a nuclear bomb for the problem that every network marketer struggles with. Who do I talk to and what do I say? That's number one. because of my relationship with him and his 7, 8, 9-year relationship with Sandy Harry, who you got a chance to meet last Wednesday, and her late husband, Dr. Michael Harry, he has now introduced me to the Six Sigma Management Institute, which I'll simply say it this way: gold standard in corporate environment, corporate development. The Six Sigma Management Institute is the third, and I'll say the head of this three-headed monster, because it's an organization that is not affiliated in the network marketing space. They don't get involved. So think of all of the trainers that you know, that I know, including ourselves, that have been personal growth, leadership development, whatever, in the network marketing space. Talk about the Tony Robbins and the other outside of network marketing. Six Sigma is the gold standard, and I'll document it by asking the question: would you agree with me that Fortune 100 American corporations would be what everybody starting in business, they'd all want to be on the
Absolutely.
Fortune 100? Well, what I'm here to tell you is that if you looked at the Fortune 100, over 80 companies listed on the Fortune 100 have at some point enlisted, as a client, enlisted the services of the Six Sigma Training Corporation, and on some level credit what Six Sigma did for them as a reason for being in the Fortune 100. It's an incredible validation that transcends network marketing and home-based business and, you know, Tony Robbins and John Costino and Ali Mehdaoui and anybody that, oh, I know this person. Whatever you know, whoever you know, bye-bye. It does nothing to do with Six Sigma. And when you think about that, the co-creator of Six Sigma, the late Dr. Michael Harry, has created such a legacy of success in that world. There's no way you would want to tarnish that successful legacy with a network marketing company unless you had the intentions of creating something special. So Sandy Harry, who you heard last Wednesday, is carrying on the legacy of the Six Sigma way of thinking. And if anybody's not sure, it's personal growth, it's leadership development, it's critical thinking, it's problem solving. It's making you a better human being in every area of your life by preparing yourself in training. So imagine that the goal was to bring this next generation, this Six Sigma way of thinking, to the masses, because Six Sigma brings it to senior level executive management of these Fortune 100, Fortune 500 corporations. But the request was, do you have a training available to the blue collar masses of our companies? You know, the 12, 15, 27,000 employees around the world. And they didn't have that. Well, that's called the Great Discovery. It's this next generation. And Sandy Harry is the CEO of the Great Discovery. She is committed to bringing that to the masses through home-based business, through the new company, which, do you want me to say the name of the new company?
I'd rather leave it for tomorrow, because folks, if you didn't know, we have a part 2 of this interview tomorrow, where we've discussed the problems that we are all pretty much aware of and we don't really talk about in the network marketing space. Tomorrow, Mr. Costino is going to unveil the solution that has allowed him to position himself where he's at, and a whole lot more. We're going to get a little personal tomorrow, John, if you don't mind. Is that okay with you, sir?
Absolutely.
So let me bring it to this. For those who are, again, watching right now.
Did I answer that last question effectively enough?
You did with facts, where most people do with opinion and how they feel about their team. You actually gave me facts, which I believe everybody's going to appreciate 100%. So, you know, there are many people who could be watching this right now and who may be just, I don't know about jumping into this network marketing space again. I've my part. I gave my time. I gave my duty. what is your message to them? Because I see many people who gave up on their dreams, and it pains my heart because I know they have greatness within them. It's just they have been led the wrong path. What is your message for them to consider jumping back on the road?
Message is two-part. Number one, this is not the next network marketing company. And I say it's not the next network marketing company because we are on purpose, consciously creating the very first social network marketing model to redesign and improve on what everyone knows is a broken model right now. So I've spent my career trying to fix a broken model. Working with Jim and Sandy, we've decided we're just going to leave the broken model the way it is and build a different one. So we're going to create a new model. So this is not the next network marketing company. And to validate that statement, it's being built. Can we agree that the majority of companies fail because of the corporate side, not because of a lack of effort on the rep side? This corporate side is being built from the ground up by Six Sigma. It's being built and run by the elite, and I'll cover it in detail tomorrow, the elite of the elite in Six Sigma Management Institute. So when you take that mindset of what's wrong with the industry, and as we build, we're not fixing anything, as we build from the foundation, we're going to build the most efficient, effective model for people to start and succeed in. It's a guarantee that it will not be the same old, same old. It doesn't guarantee you're going to succeed because you've got to bring a work ethic. So number one is it's not the same broken model. Number two, to answer your question, if you're telling me, same as I've said, I've given my best effort and the industry failed me, I have built 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I won't give the names of the companies. 4 times I have built networks in excess, me personally, not companies, me personally, networks in excess of 100,000 reps, in excess of $5, $10, $15 million a month in revenue, and had it stripped away. You're not going to cry a river to me about how hard you worked and it was taken away. No one has ever had it stripped away 4 times after building it bigger each of those 4 times. So why am I doing it? Because right now, if I don't do it this next time, Ali, my story ends. My last chapter is you failed. My last chapter is you gave your best effort, you failed because they screwed you, and it's over. So my question to everyone out there dealing with what I dealt with, how do you want your book to end? Don't tell me that you're a character in your book. You're the author of your book. You author your own story. So if you're content with the last chapter saying, I got screwed and I'm a failure, I got screwed and I lost, I can't help you. But you know you deserve better than that. And all you have to understand is you are the author. You're not the star. You're not the lead character. Let's write that last chapter together and go out on a victory and a win. That's my answer to anybody that wants to tell me, not to disrespect what you went through, but I understand it. And as an owner and as a field active owner, not some ivory tower, I'll just dictate from above. I'll be in the field working. You want to end your story on a high note, then you just jump in with us and let's run.